Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Panel to Panel. My name is Mike Reed. I'm here with my two lovely co-hosts, the loveliest of the lovely, Mr. Nicholas Graffio.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you.
And Samantha Patron sporting once again her Black Widow outfit. Samantha Patron, good friend Samantha Patron. So what's the first topic we have today? Morality in DC versus Marvel.
Is that the first topic?
I don't think. Oh no, it's body image in comic books.
Wait, body image in comics?
Yeah, like males, females.
I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm done.
Really?
I'm out. You guys have a good one.
Don't be a bitch, man.
Really?
Didn't
And you're going to start with sexist insults?
That's a sexist insult? No, it's just an insult.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an insult. It's a general insult. I didn't mean it as like, oh man, he's being like a bitch, a chick, or whatever like
That's
that.
what you exactly said.
I'm so over this, Samantha Chun. Like, I'm so over this, Sam. Like, every time we have this discussion about you see, that's the thing about the feminist movement is you guys make that like that just in itself. You just made a problem where there is none. Like, what about calling someone a dick? Is that not bad? Is that not the equivalent of being a bitch? Is that not the... No, we're not. No. Okay, great. Great, awesome.
Your face.
Fuck you, Sam. I should have just put on my contacts. So we're gonna talk about first issue is gonna be body image in comic books, and we lost Nick Graffio, unfortunately. So body image in comic books. How do you want to start this off?
Well, what is your opinion on body image in comic books? Do you think it's something that's a problem? Do you think it's something that is okie dokie hunky dory the way that it is? I mean,
I think that well, I don't know what I think yet. But I'm like,
we're doing things. I don't know.
there's technical stuff going on.
Did I?
Speaking on body image in comic books, I hope everyone's getting this. Your tits look great today, Sam.
Really? Really? That's what you're gonna say to me.
Oh man, I had to make the joke, Sam. I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah. Thanks.
What? Oh my God.
That's not a compliment.
You're right. It's not a compliment. It was me making a joke. Like how my tits don't look that great today. Are we good?
How is that not a compliment?
It's not. It's me like saying your balls look unusually nice. I don't.
I take great pride in my trimming.
Seriously though, just as a question, as a general question, do people come up to you and say like, "Damn, you got a nice ass," or
To me?
you know, "Hey, that's a nice body. I'd hit that."
All right.
Like,
All right. Well, if we're talking about we're talking about body image in comic books, not necessarily body image in the real world. However, for me, yes, I have been commenting that way. I understand that is not the general norm. I understand that is a privilege. That there is male privilege there, and I do understand that it is men. It is men taking advantage of, or not even taking advantage of, or just no dude would get complimented like that. Not in the real world. Not really. And you're absolutely right. That is wrong. However, if we're talking about body image in comic books, I think that superheroes are written to be the athletic, physically fit. To be the athletic and physically fit. I don't think all women in comic books are necessarily. They're written as a part of fantasy, but I don't think it's like an overarching like we wrote this character specifically for this fantasy, this male. I mean, look at Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was created by a feminist, and her body in the beginning wasn't that even that great or athletic.
yeah, she was pretty normal looking, and then men got a hold of her, and suddenly she's got
You mean like
this
the man who
itty
created
bitty
her?
waist and this giant hips and these big boobs. I mean, look at Power Girl. Power Girl started off very, very attractive, obviously, what we would consider, conventionally attractive, beyond conventionally attractive.
Okay.
And there was kind of a running joke where the comic book artist kept on drawing her boobs bigger and bigger to see when someone would notice. And that's why her boobs are that big.
I think things like that, things like that are ridiculous. But we could say the same thing about Superman's pecs or his shoulders or his bulge in certain comic books or Batman's bulge in certain comic books or things like that. You're right. But I think in comic books, it's kind of like you're written to be more athletic. You're written to you're drawn to look like the more physically. I mean, if you look at the physically fit women who are over the top with their fitness, just like physically fit men who are ridiculous bodybuilders, and the only way you can get that way is by years of protein and steroids and supplements.
Yes, but you can get there by years of protein and supplements and working out. Whereas with these women, they're built to the point where most of them are literally physically impossible. You would topple over if you had a body like that. You would have to have most of your ribs removed to even look like that.
You've said Power Girl. Wonder Woman, her boobs aren't that big. I'll be honest, not like
that big.
See, why can't I even say that? Why can't I even what do you want me to say here? I'm in an argument about body image, and I'm not allowed to talk about.
How many women do you know, even that you've seen that cosplay Wonder Woman, who have a comic book body of her body?
5. I can think of 5 offhand.
Yeah, okay. And how many women do you think have actually cosplayed Wonder Woman?
Oh,
thousands?
probably far more. But how many fat dudes have you seen cosplay Superman? Or guys who are not? If you want to talk about body image in comic books, if you want to talk about how it's written as a part of a male fantasy, I will argue that it's a part of a white male fantasy then, because the majority of comic book characters are Caucasian. True or false?
Yes, I completely agree with you there.
It's a white male fantasy, and it's one of those kind of deals. It's like those are the people who were writing the comic books back in the day. They wrote what they knew. They wrote what they liked, and a lot of the characters were created off of that basis. I think like She-Hulk. I think like Miss Marvel, and even comic books today. We're going back to like even the new Miss Marvel has a very average looking body. The new Miss Marvel has a very average looking body. Supergirl has an average looking body.
And you know what happened when they showed the new Miss Marvel?
Who I love. I think it's a great.
Yeah, well, 90% of the comic book fandom absolutely went ballistic. She's like a 15-year-old girl now or something like that? 16? Something like that?
She's a 15-year-old Muslim girl.
She is not your sexual fantasy, you disgusting perverts. She's not. She's 15. Go to jail. Go directly to fucking jail. She is not your fantasy. She doesn't need to have giant fucking boobs. Shut up and quit whining. Because that's exactly what people did. They hit the internet and they fucking whined. Oh, she's not hot. What happened? What happened to that body?
A lot like Gal Gadot with being cast as Wonder Woman, who I didn't have a problem with. I was like, oh, you have a
except again,
body.
you're in the minority there. When it comes to men, most men did not like that. And a lot of women complained about that casting too, which, ladies, give her a chance. What the hell? If she's gonna be athletic about it, who gives a crap? She doesn't need the giant boobs.
And a lot of women, and I've gone to costume conventions, and you're like one of the few. I don't get what it is. You're like one of the few costumers who don't break other costumers down. But a lot of the costumers I've hung out with, really great costumers, are like females break each other down. They talk about each other. They're like, oh, well, she doesn't look right. Her ass looks like this. Da, 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 all these different things. And dudes don't even do that to each other. I've never gone up to another dude who I saw in a costume and been like, God damn, what, or anything like that. Maybe once about a Batman who, clearly should not have been Batman. But there are other things like that, and I don't understand why is it you guys focus more on the body of other females than I think I do, or a lot of my male friends do.
Because society tells us that it's the only thing that makes us worth anything. We are not valued in society for our brains. We are not valued in society for our input. A lot of those really interesting inventions that you like, a lot of interesting genres that you enjoy were created by women, and a lot of them are stolen by men. And they put the male name on it because no one wants to buy shit from a woman. I mean, the first computer programmer was a woman. And guess what? Now, the entire industry is dominated by men, and it's so hard to get in as a woman. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that that's a problem with women. Women are taught from a young age the other girl syndrome. We are taught to be catty toward other women. That's not a problem of women. It's a problem of the patriarchy. The patriarchy tells us that women are the enemy, and that's not how it should be. We're sisters. We gotta be like Amazons, motherfucker. We gotta stick together.
Women are the enemy. Is that what you were taught as a kid?
That's what every girl is taught. We are always taught about the other girl. I mean, I'm sure you've seen in every romance movie ever, you're not like other girls. What the fuck is wrong with other girls? What's wrong with other girls?
There's nothing wrong with other girls.
But that's exactly what we were taught.
It's like saying, I gotta be honest. I feel like a lot of times the feminist movement makes arguments where things where there clearly are not. Like a lot of the things in, I can even say, the civil rights movement, modern day civil rights movement. They make arguments where there are none, like where things are, this big deals out of nothing. Like the Knicks. What was the dude? The guy from the Clippers. The dude who owned the Clippers. Remember that whole thing? Mm-hmm. Dude on the Clippers said the N-word or something like that, or called Shaq some kind of N-word.
And he said that he didn't want his Mexican girlfriend who
he was cheating with on his wife.
Yeah, he didn't want her taking pictures with black people.
Like with some black dude.
And you're not offended by that?
No, I am absolutely offended by that, but I don't
Okay.
think it needs to be the biggest. It was.
But he was up for some kind of a peace award by
No,
the
he wasn't.
by the NAACP.
No
Look it up.
shit.
Yes, that's why it was
No
such a big deal.
shit.
Why do you think everyone made such a big deal about it?
I didn't see
So
any
you're
of
gonna
that.
argue
I
something
looked-
and you didn't even know that.
I looked up a lot of the stuff about it, what was said, everything like that. I did not see anything about an NAACP peace award. I'll look it up. I will look it up.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any of that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying I ain't heard that. I ain't heard that.
That's
But
why
what
it
I'm
was such a
saying,
big deal.
what I'm saying is, my whole reaction to it was online was, oh, he's a racist. The end. Like, I had nothing. What else do you want me to tell you? He's a racist. He's gonna get.
Because
what's
people
the
are
end?
not going to learn that racism is not okay unless if you take away their toys. And that's the problem, is that when your child does something wrong, you take away their toys, okay? If you do something bad as an adult, there has to be consequences.
Oh,
and
no,
whether
absolutely.
that's media backlash or maybe you're going to lose a couple sponsors, yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
you got to pay for that shit. And that's what
Absolutely.
the whole blow up on Facebook
Absolutely.
is.
Let's get. You're absolutely.
Wait, I
I'll
had
agree with
one
all.
more thing
I want to
that
get
I
back to
wanted-
body image. I want to get back.
Well,
to
we're
it.
getting to body image.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about. I want to ask you something in regards to how women are raised
All right.
to see women as other girls.
All right.
And, we're not like other girls, and media tells us, we're not like other girls, don't be like other girls are sluts or whatever, this whole slut-shaming society
Yeah, I
that we
think
live
that's
in.
ridiculous as well.
I want to ask you a question. You asked me if I was raised to think, don't be like other girls.
Okay.
The answer is I think that society raises us that way.
Okay.
I want to ask you something. Were you ever, when you were growing up, were you ever told explicitly not to rape a woman?
Yeah, by growing up, by my mom, my grandma, and yeah.
Your mother took you to the side and told you
She
during your
explained
sex
to me,
talk.
She explained to me how bad,
that-
what rape was. She explained to me how bad rape was. She explained to me that it was a horrible crime. It's worse than murder. That was actually out of my mom's mouth. It's worse than murder. It is worse than murder. Because you're not just having sex with somebody. You are taking away their power. You're taking away their sanity, and you're breaking them down.
It's not about sex. It's about violence, and that's the thing is that
more than violence. I
But-
think it's a psychological crime.
in the context of this conversation that you have, which by the way, most men are not taught this during their sex talks. This is not something that's discussed. Consent is never a thing that's brought up. It's really not. It's always the birds and the bees, and you need to, use protection, and when you're ready or whatever. It never talks about when a woman says no, even after she's, maybe turned you on, or maybe you're attracted to her. It's.
A woman says no, you back off. It's that simple.
But that's not what men are taught on the whole. But women are taught from a very young age
I think
how we should dress
Yeah.
and how we should act to avoid being raped.
I think
men are not taught not to rape.
I think society kind of, like you said, society teaches us to be catty towards other women. I think society kind of teaches us not to rape because as growing up, even just not that. No,
What?
yeah, I think society teaches us not to rape.
We live in such a rape culture. I could give you 500 different
Oh my
examples
God. We're
of
gonna do
crap.
this right now.
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
Let me finish my thought. When you say we live in a rape culture, I get what you're saying. You're saying that women are taught not how to dress to not get raped. That's what women are taught.
We're taught that it is our responsibility to prevent a man from raping us. That it is not his responsibility not to rape us.
And I am taught, and I was taught, and most of the men I know, most of the men I surround myself with, most of the women most of the men I've talked to, were taught by just society and growing up, maybe not even explicitly, but that rape is the worst thing. Every man I've ever had a conversation with, rape is the worst thing you can do to a person. Not even just a woman, a person. That is the worst thing you would
Well,
take.
I would like to have your friends because that is not society as a whole. It's not. It's absolutely not.
Have you talked to men that are your friends that are not, that I don't know?
Yeah, because I don't hang out around jackasses.
Have you? But I'm
Except
not.
for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think and we need to clearly define what is consent. We need to clearly define, is basically a woman saying, yes, I want sex, but even in the middle of it, if you're in the middle of coitus, if she says no, then hey, it's off. All bets are off. Mm-hmm. There is no sex. There was no consent, whatever. And the same thing goes vice versa. I don't think anyone's. That's why we prosecute it so hard. That's why we prosecute it so bad. That's why rape is looked at in our society
Have you
so
ever
wrong.
watched a rape interview? Have you ever read the interviews that go on during rape?
Explain to me.
Women are asked what they are wearing. Women are asked what they were wearing at the time. If a woman was naked, standing in the middle of the street where she had a right to be naked, let's say if there was a place, well, for example, in New York City, you're allowed to be topless. Let's say a woman was topless in New York City. A man is not entitled to a person's body. You are not entitled to a body. Even if it is naked and displayed in front of you, it is not something you are entitled to.
No, absolutely.
Therefore, what a woman is wearing at the time she was raped is absolutely irrelevant. It is something that is absolutely brought up on the stand while these victims are under oath. It is something that is brought up.
In a rape case in the last 10 years, this was brought up.
Every rape case.
Every rape case?
Every rape case, okay? Also, not only that, but how much had you been drinking? Why were you drinking?
Doesn't Rape Shield prevent most of that? Rape Shield.
No! Rape Shield is a joke. Rape Shield is a joke. Because this is all considered relevant to the case. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that rape culture is a problem, and it's something that it's defined by what we see in our comic books and what we see in our media. This kind of stuff is taught that it's okay, and it's not.
So, all right. So in our media, in our society, in our media, I will agree with you that we do look a little bit harsher on women as far as like how they're supposed to look. It just as a whole, not even men or women across the board. In American society, we do look at we look at women a little bit harder. That's why makeup exists. That's why there is so much of this women trying to look thin or get those. You see all the commercials everywhere. You see all these things. And maybe it wasn't for men that bad 10 years ago or 5 years ago. It wasn't that bad. But I think we've gotten to a point now to where men, and this is not me defending men, it's not me defending men, but I think I won't even say it's equal, but I say there is definitely on the other side. Like, I know as a dude, I go to a superhero movie, or I go to any movie, I read a superhero comic book, and I'm like, I don't look like that. And I think women expect men to look like that now.
No.
No. That's
I completely disagree. I
don't expect women to look any kind of way. I want what I find is attractive, and that's it. Like, just like you want what you find is attractive.
Except society tells us that women are supposed to look a certain way, and men, even not just looking superhero movies or whatever, because I know our focus is comic books, but looking at media in general, the men are generally the ones that are, they're more normal looking. But the women are always fucking hot, gorgeous, beautiful women.
In media?
I will give you examples. Big Bang Theory. Okay.
Oh man, the chick from Big Bang Theory ain't that.
King of Queens was very, very popular.
There are two chicks on Big Bang Theory that are not really banging.
Are you kidding me? They're gorgeous.
The one with the schnoz?
Bernadette, giant freaking boobs. I mean, gorgeous women.
I'm talking about two. There's two. There's one blonde who's absolutely gorgeous on the show.
Yeah, that's Katie Cuoco.
And then there are two other girls who to me, I'm not really all that into. I'm sorry, like they're not attractive. Like the one with the schnoz who is.
See, but that's another thing, the schnoz.
If I saw a dude, you're not gonna tell me you've never described a man like, oh, he has a big nose, or he has a big feet, or big hands, or he's a small torso. You've never described a person like that ever.
I don't think I've ever used the word schnoz.
I can't say schnoz. If you have used the word schnoz, please message me on Facebook.
You're not Jewish. You're not allowed to say that word.
I will say, wait, schnoz is a word that is specifically to the Jewish culture? Fine. Jew people, you can't say black no more. You say black, we beat your ass. There it is. Trade off. You get schnoz, we get black. You can't say it. You can't fucking say it.
Black is an English word,
Yeah,
dude.
fuck it. We took it back. Yeah, fuck it.
You take it back. Listen, I agree with you that men are also shown in a way that is a very hard standard to meet. But you're on Mr. Swole Patrol. I mean, you're not.
Do I work out?
You're not an unattractive guy, and you are.
Oh, I'm a really unattractive dude. Are you kidding me?
Shut up. I do not find you unattractive.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You don't find me unattractive at all?
No, not at all. All right, but listen. Here's my point.
You hear that, ladies? One chick thinks I'm hot.
Okay. I'm sure there's a lot of fangirls who would say it's more than one.
There's like 3. There's like
three. There's 3 of us. We run the Mike Reed fan club.
Oh my God. Am I cute, y'all? I can see myself, and you guys can't see it. I can see myself. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The point is, though, is that it is, and it's been discussed time and time again, women in comic books being attractive is a male sex fantasy.
Okay.
Men being attractive in comic books is a male power fantasy. They're completely different.
I think the power fantasy comes from the gadgets and the tools. If someone came to me and said, you can have all the powers of Supergirl, okay? Like even just not even Superman. It's still the power fantasy is, like you said, it's a power fantasy. It's about the gadgets. If I want to be Bruce Wayne, I want to have girls, I want to have money, I want to have the, whatever, all the martial arts skill. I am not necessarily like, I don't need the rippling abs. If I could do all those same things and just be this, gorgeous, then I do it. If I could do all this, it's not. I will agree that there are some people, and this is just what kind of coffee do you like kind of people, whatever like that do go out and say, oh man, I really want to be this. I really want to be this. I really want to pick up a comic book and be this. Because in our society, we have such high standards. And this is just even, if we're going to say across the board, fat people are discriminated against horribly.
Oh, yes.
I'm an actor.
Yes.
I'm in the acting industry. I was at 250 when I was on the TV show Fangasm. I'm down to 195 right now, and I'm still trying to lose more weight for what Hollywood considers the leading man look. And I still won't be there because I'm black. I still won't even have the leading man look because I'm a black dude.
That's a problem too in comic books, is that we don't have enough diversity at all. I mean, it's not just feminism, it's ableism. Like we've got not a whole lot of disabled characters. We've got, obviously white privilege. There's not a whole lot.
I'm saying disabled as far as disabled characters go. I don't think. Oh God, this is gonna sound horrible.
Don't you do it. I will kick you in the ass. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you say it. Don't say it. No, don't say it. I will punch you. If you say it, I will punch you.
I have to, man. I have to.
Don't say it.
You will not see
say it.
An overweight or disabled person out there fighting crime. I am sorry. You're not. You just wouldn't.
Can we just, so there's no evidence
in the real world?
I'm seriously going to punch him in the fucking face.
Okay, I'm just saying. Your
weight does not define your athleticism, okay? There are different types of bodies.
Oh, I hate this argument. Oh, I love it.
Have you not seen the video of the kid online who's like considered a chunky kid, okay? This kid is not tiny, and he does a fucking backflip, like fucking somersault.
So in America, we do not have a weight problem.
Of course we do.
But
no one's saying we don't, okay?
But on the other token, no, it's not about...
weight is not always attributed to being unhealthy. It is not. Different people have different body types, and that doesn't mean that they're unhealthy.
Okay, granted, different people have different body types. In the 1950s...
And that doesn't mean that they can't fight crime.
In the 1950s, and then the introduction of like the McHappies and the fast food and all that stuff like that, in the 1950s where everyone smoked with their burger and their coffee, if you can go back and look at the way everything was, even in the 1920s, you can go back and look at the way clothes were. If you want to go buy clothes, it's all very tall and thin. It's all very tall and thin.
If you want to go back to the past, why don't you look at Renaissance art?
Okay, Renaissance art was rich people being drawn. Was mostly rich people being drawn. If you look at like the people who were not wealthy enough to afford getting portraits,
and chunkiness was a sign. It was a sign that you were well off. It was
because
considered,
you ate so goddamn much.
Yes.
You ate so much.
But that doesn't mean that they were unhealthy. You can eat a lot of food and still be completely healthy if you're eating healthy food.
Lord, I'm saying, all right, you can be healthy, but you're not going to tell me Chunky Man is going to go out there and fight. Like Fat Batman isn't going to go like out and fight. If you work out and you train to be, if you're a Kryptonian and you are an elite Kryptonian and the suns give you your metabolism goes faster, you are the perfect, even more than perfect godlike human being, you're not going to tell me that you're going to gain a couple pounds. It just isn't. It just doesn't even make sense. There are no fat superheroes because there are no fats. That's different. The Blob's power is being fat. That's different. His power is to be fat.
He's completely capable of smashing down walls. All I'm saying is that it's completely possible to have characters that look more like normal people. They don't need to be so fucking like.
If you want normal, then don't. No. If you want normal, don't pick up a comic book. If you want normal, we want them to look like normal people. Normal people are in the comic books, but they don't look like. There's Snapper Carr, who's very unknown. I love that character from DC Comics. If I wanted to read about normal, I'd pick up a newspaper. When you go to see a movie, when you go to read a comic book, when you go to do anything, you want to be in a fantasy. There will never be a fat Doctor Who, just like there will never be unfortunately, a fat female companion. Like, because even the women.
It's because Stephen Moffat's a douchebag, but we'll get back to that.
I'm just, not even just Stephen Moffat. If we go back and look at like Doctor Who's, I can only really think of one chunky doctor, and it was, I can't even remember his name. It was the one with the cane question. But I can only think of one really fat doctor. But because like. You just, when you go and look at this fiction, you want to see, and this is Hollywood standard, not even just, this is Hollywood standards, you want to feel a little bit better about yourself. You want to go and see about these awesome characters doing
How
awesome
is watching someone who looks so much better than you making you feel better about yourself? I think that's the difference
It's a
between a
fantasy.
male power fantasy and a woman fantasy, whereas a woman is going to look at ScarJo and be like,
So you're saying women and men see things differently?
yeah, I want to be like her, but there's no freaking way that I could ever look like her unless if I got like a million freaking surgeries. And you know what? On that fucking note, okay,
here we go.
This woman is gorgeous. You would agree that Scarlett Johansson is freaking gorgeous?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
like
Ryan
she's in
Reynolds
like
was the only one hot enough for her.
Yeah, well, that didn't work out, which was sad. But anyway, two beautiful people. The point is that Scarlett Johansson, this woman, who is absolutely gorgeous, I mean, she sets the standard for what a lot of men think is, you know, just the ideal woman. She's
Okay.
beautiful, okay? Freaking pictures of her in a bikini are put on a magazine written by a dude, and she has cellulite. I got news for you, men. 90% of women have cellulite. It's got nothing to do with weight.
How come I've never seen dudes with cellulite? That's weird.
Because it's not this. You don't hold your weight in the same places that women do, and so most women have cellulite. I have cellulite. Everybody has cellulite. But when it comes to women, most women have cellulite. Scarlett Johansson who is arguably in the best shape of her life right now, because of the Black Widow movies that, you know, have been going on, that she's been playing this role, you know, save for the fact that she's, you know, pregnant now. I don't know how much working out she's doing in between the films, but she has cellulite. And it was just, she was reamed on for it. And they were saying, like, you shouldn't be wearing a bikini if you guys, like, bitch, shut up.
Oh no, agreed. I can go get you an Us Weekly right now and show you, like, there's Hugh Jackman, like, oh, he doesn't look like the Wolverine anymore. Like, there's all these things out there. As a society, let's just agree, this is one thing we can't agree on. Society is constantly asking us to look better, be fitter, and to fit the standard
And
that
be
they
whiter.
want. And be well, I think
Which
that's
is
I think that's
shitty.
I think that's changing. I think we're seeing personally, I think we're seeing a lot more African American in cinema, and maybe not in comic books. In comic books,
It's getting there. Marvel's pushing.
I think in cinema, I think we're seeing more African American leading men, more African American stuff, and I think it's people are finally starting to realize, hey, maybe we should put some brothers in here. Like,
When's the last movie you saw with a leading man who was black?
yep, exactly. Yeah, we're not getting, we ain't there yet. You're right.
I just off the top of your head.
Oh man, that's so hard. Ah, damn. I think it was a Tyler Perry film. No lie.
Yeah, no, we don't count Tyler Perry films.
Oh God, why don't we count Tyler? They're really good. They're really. I like them. You're gonna tell me you don't like no damn Tyler Perry films.
It's not my genre, but
Why it ain't your genre? Because you don't like black movies? See, you want to come in here and talk about feminism, but you don't want to talk about the real issues.
no, I
Race.
do. I want to see black people in movies that are not about black people. I want to see gay people in movies that are not about gay people.
Let's not talk about them today. Let's not talk about gay people.
Are you serious?
I'm kind of. I feel like we're gonna offend some people if we talk about gay people.
Why?
I don't have a problem with gay people at all. I just feel like saying the term gay people is real wrong.
How? What?
I don't know. I just
That's
feel,
an identity. You're gay.
I feel weird.
You're gay, you're straight, you're bi, you're pan, whatever the hell you are. That's your
I think
identity. That's
homosexual.
fine.
I think homosexual is the word. I think
Homosexual? Gay is fine. Listen, I am in the LGBT community. Gay is fine.
Are you really?
Yes.
Are you like in the? I know that you are, but are you like in the community?
I am bisexual.
I know
Or
you're-
some people say pansexual. There's an argument about how that should be
I think
portrayed.
I thought they were totally different things. I thought bisexuals, I find the attractiveness of both forms. And
Yes.
pansexuals, I'm emotionally stimulated by you, so let's have sex.
No, pansexual is supposed to be any gender, no matter how you identify, because there's more than two genders. It's not just male and female. You have your non-binary, your gender fluid, and you bigender. I mean, you have multiple situations there. So saying bisexual implies that there's only two. However, I've heard the argument that bisexual could mean my own identity and every other identity. Therefore, it's still two. So two.
Agreed. Okay.
So I could either identify as bi or pan. I'm fine with either term. I'm not offended by either term. And gay is a completely acceptable way to call someone their their sexuality. It's an okay way to say it. Obviously you don't want to use it as an insult. It should never be used as an insult, like, oh, that's gay. Like, no, son, that is not okay.
Oh man, come on now. Oh, God.
What? Really? How would you feel if someone just said, "Oh man, that's so black"?
It happens a lot, and it's
And it fucking shouldn't.
By my black friends and by my Asian friends and by my Hispanic. It doesn't bother me though. It doesn't. Oh man, that's so black. It's not like a. It's just
That's
a
not
funny.
okay. I'm sorry. I don't think that's okay.
As someone who does a lot of comedy shtick, I think it's funny.
I don't think it's okay, and I don't think it does anybody any favors when we say it's okay.
But when you do comedy, when you do things like that, when you do stuff like that, when it is in the perspective of comedy, and it is in the mocking of how we as a society view these things and have these things, when you are mocking the ignorance that is in our society, yes, I absolutely believe it's okay because you are mocking what is wrong.
If you say it ironically, but
I think
that's not how people are saying it ironically. When you're just commenting, really, oh my god, that's so gay. You're not saying it ironically. You're saying it like, oh, that's gay.
One of my homeboys like put on like a shirt that's like pink or whatever like that. I was like, I will make a joke like, oh man, gay, like a joke like that. But it's not like I'm not saying like, oh man, I down all homosexual.
Yeah, because pink is totally gay. Like that's what I'm saying is we shouldn't be building up those stereotypes.
It's not building up stereotypes so much. It is making fun of the fact that we even have stereotypes.
But that's not what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You're not doing it in the context of it's a joke and we're saying this because society's crappy.
Do I think that homosexuality do I think that it's fine? Do I think that we should let them get married already? Or I think that it should be accepted in our society? Absolutely. It should already just be accepted in our society. Absolutely, just across the board.
So then what's wrong with more gay characters in not gay films?
There's nothing wrong with gay characters in not gay films. We actually, me and Nick Graffio, the guy who just left, have conversations all the time about how there should be a male, what is his name? Male MJ.
Yeah, that was something that Andrew Garfield was immediately shot down, by the way.
It came with a thing. Well, because I get where they're saying in the comic book she's not gay, so I get where they're coming from.
Who cares? Society has changed constantly on what is and is not acceptable in our media, what is and is not acceptable in our society as a whole. We have to adapt our comic books for that, and we have to adapt our media for that. We have to adapt our movies for that. And the comic books have gotten better about it. I mean, we've got a Muslim Miss Marvel, and we have,
we have two black Supermen now.
And we have a black Flash.
Yeah, we got a brother Flash. That's goddamn right we do.
We're getting there. We've also got we have for, oh my God, Young Avengers. We have Hulkling and Wiccan, who are canon gay characters in a relationship with each
absolutely.
other. That's huge, especially with a comic book that's very popular with the younger crowd.
Oh, I love Young Justice. I can't get enough of Young Justice. Avengers. Sorry, excuse me. I love Young Avengers. I can't get enough of Young Avengers. I think it's the tits. I love everything about it. And the way they do it. Here's what I will even say to another thing. The homosexuality in Young Avengers is so nonchalant. It's like, oh, they're gay. It doesn't matter. No one.
And that's how it should be played. But the problem is that with our society, for some reason, there's this idea that you can't have a gay character unless if the entire show has glitter and magic. And it's like, no, we don't need Glee. Let's just have an absolutely, completely normal, everyday movie, and then you've just got a gay character because that's exactly how society is. That's exactly how it is. I guarantee you at least one of your coworkers are probably does not identify as straight. And you probably don't even realize it because who cares? That doesn't make them any different from you. It just means that they like a different type of person.
That's right, Sister Soldier. You fight the fight.
I am fighting the fight.
I'm gonna get back to comic books and stuff. Let's go to a topic that will keep us on comic books. Morality in comics, DC versus Marvel. Who do we think is the more moral? Obviously, I think DC is the more moral. Hands down, is the more moral. You, I bet, disagree with that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel that DC handles morality in a completely different way. I think that they, in the context of their comic books, change the morality to make it seem like it's the okay choice or the better choice or the lesser of two evils. Whereas in Marvel, they're like, we have to make this decision and it sucks, but this is a decision that we have to make, and they almost like own up to their moral standards. So although DC might come across as becoming more of a moral standpoint, I think that it's only because they change it so that you have to see it that way.
You just completely just like I love how you just completely like sidestepped and tried to confuse our viewers at home. Like, you just straight up like, well, the reason that DC seems like they're more moral is because the things they do make it seem like it's actually over here, but it ain't. And
I think if anything, they're equal on the morality
chicken-
in that
and
it's
chicken
not
grease.
moral. I think
No.
that they're both equal on that, but
no.
DC comes across as more moral because of the way that they frame their stories.
DC comes across as the more moral because their characters are about teaching lessons in morality. Their characters, you read, and this is not the New 52. If anyone out there is gonna be like, well, the New 52 doesn't, fuck yourself. Go home, literally take a dildo out, fuck yourself. I don't care, male, female, I don't care. Do that. Fuck New 52, and if you bring it up, just don't. No, here's the deal. They are the more moral characters because they're characters about teaching lessons. You're right. They're these powerful Olympus level gods in a society where they have to constantly the world is literally on the brink every day of the week in DC Comics. In DC Comics, everything is darker. Everything is boom boom boom. And in this dark realistic world, you have characters who believe in things like Batman believes in justice, Superman believes in hope, Wonder Woman believes in truth and honor. You have these characters that stand for these things, and they're unwilling to compromise on their morals. Unwilling to compromise on their morals for the greater good, for teaching society that they can be better. That's the entire point of Superman, to teach society that they can be better.
All right, now that I'll let you finish, and
I'll let you finish.
I'm
gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
Rude.
All right, I got you.
So first of all, the idea of DC being the more realistic and gritty is absolutely bonkers because Metropolis is shown to be, at its core, was meant to be a utopian type city. It was a futuristic type city. Same thing with Gotham. You've got all this technology that we just don't have. So this is more of a society where it was leaps and bounds beyond where we are even now. And I feel so saying that it's more of a realistic thing is, no, I completely disagree. I feel that it is definitely in Marvel's court there where we have realistic settings, where we are in the real New York City, we're in the real California, we're in these real places, and these real people have real issues. I think the thing with DC is that unwilling to compromise morals, it becomes a Deus Ex Machina situation where you have these situations where they seem hopeless and this character refuses to make that choice that needs to be made to save the majority or whatever if it's going to compromise their morals. And therefore we have our Deus Ex Machina, which is an old technique where something comes in and fixes a situation. In an example where a fantastic book where we have Wonder Woman fighting Medusa and she refuses to compromise her own morals. She blinds herself with snake venom and she fights Medusa, kicks her ass, and then when Athena gives her the ability to have her eyes back, she says, no, I would like you to just give back the life of the person that was killed by Medusa. And so Athena does, but then Athena's like, you know what, now I'm going to give you back your eyes too. So it's kind of like a Deus Ex Machina, like it always gets fixed in the end. But with with Marvel, it's like a lasting consequence, and I feel like that is more, I feel like that is absolutely more of a situation with Marvel.
So Death in the not Death in the Family, excuse me. Yeah, Death in the Family. Death in the Family, there was no lasting consequence. There was no lasting consequence. You're absolutely right. We just lost a Robin for 20 fucking years. There's no consequence there. There was no consequence when superheroes let these people live, not because it's not because of they in their heads need to feel better. It's because they realize that the moment that Superman goes out there and just says, you know what, Lex Luthor, boom, there it is. Superman, God of Earth, that's a moment that they've crossed a line. They've had complete story arcs about these superheroes, and they can't cross those lines because they're no longer superheroes. They're now dictating who gets to live and die. That's not
if it's just one guy. And that's the problem, is that they're by saying that they cannot kill Lex Luthor, he's implying that he wouldn't be able to stop after that.
In Marvel, there was a whole story arc about Civil War, about no, these superheroes are too powerful, they're too out of control. There was a whole story arc about it, and it's still even going on to this day. Even with mutants, they talk about, well, this and this happened. Did you see Days of Future Past? Yeah. We're gonna ruin some things. In Days of Future Past, you see Magneto, as powerful as he is, come in at the end and do all this stuff. And they have to stop it to show, like, no, we are just like you people. We're no different. To show that, no, it's still an equal playing ground. We have to make you understand that we just want justice. that's the same thing as DC. I think Charles Xavier is a character who could be considered a DC because he's like, no, we can't kill. We can stop the bad guy for today. He's unwilling to kill Magneto because that's not who he is. Magneto is like death, 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 and they show you in X-Men Future Past about how bad that is. That we're just gonna kill this one guy, and how much of a ripple effect these things can have, and how much people will fear these characters. You can't do that kind of thing, and that's why I believe it's more moral because the DC characters stick to that code of no, we have to show humanity there's a better way. We're not that.
But in that vein, it costs them more than it's worth, in my opinion. And
it costs.
And also, in that. To me, not compromising your morals, it feels selfish to me, and I've discussed this before with you.
Yeah, well, on Facebook.
I feel that.
Fuck you guys! I'm going to bed.
I feel that not compromising your morals is it's a writing decision that it's kind of weak. It's like you have to be a dynamic character if you're going to be on a run for this long. You have to kind of say, listen, like it's time to step up. I mean, how many people would have been saved if Batman would have just fucking killed the Joker?
They talk about they talk about those kind of things. They talk about there was a great comic book where it was right after Infinite Crisis. It was where Superman is being mind controlled by Maxwell Lord, and Maxwell Lord is the head of Checkmate at this point, and he has the ability to control minds at his own behest, and he wants to destroy the superhuman community. He believes that there should be no superhumans. He's controlling Superman, and Superman is beating the ever-living shit out of Wonder Woman. Like they're going back and forth and they're trading blows, and Wonder Woman is barely holding her own. And Wonder Woman decides, well, fuck that, flies off and finds Maxwell Lord, and there's an entire piece of Wonder Woman just snapping Maxwell Lord's head, snapping his neck to save Superman. Mm-hmm. And after it's all over, the backlash on that is ridiculous. Like Wonder Woman has to leave the Justice League because they can't. They want her on trial. They want her. The government wants her on trial. They're like, superhumans have now pushed that point. And there was a whole thing about superhumans. Are they too powerful? Now you have taken it into your own hands to be judge, jury, and executioner. And you say it's all right. Well, if it's just one guy, but when is it not just one guy? I mean, Magneto feels like he is justified in killing anybody he has to. He was even ready to kill kill Mystique, just to save the entire mutant race. But you say it's just one guy. When does it become? We're just doing this one thing. Oh, we just have to do this one thing again. We just have to do this one thing. And you talk about who's the more moral characters. I think the characters who can take it upon themselves and restrain themselves. And it's not like them saying Batman has been to the point where he is ready to kill. He's been to that point, and he's had to be talked down by either, Robin or Superman or Wonder Woman or whoever. And Wonder Woman, would have been stopped by Superman. Superman was like, no, we don't do that here. And I don't believe it's selfish. It's you as a superhero realizing that you are a symbol to these people. If you were Superman, you were just the Blur, you could probably, okay, I get it, you would boom. But Superman can't go on live feed video fighting this great battle and Lex Luthor, fuck you, and do anything like that. And that's what's going to be probably in this next Superman movie. Dawn of Justice. Probably going to be about he crossed the line. Not Matt Damon, sorry, Ben Affleck's gonna be like, he crossed a line.
Okay, but someone's life was in danger, and millions of people's lives were in danger, and I'm sorry, but if someone breaks into your house, you have every right to shoot them. So if someone's mind controlling the most powerful man in the universe, and Superman, attempting to kill all the other superheroes with him, I'm pretty sure you have grounds to snap his fucking neck.
It was a last ditch. It's very dark for them. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just think it's ridiculous. I think that yes, you do need to compromise your morals, and that DC just shows it that they're not compromising their morals. I mean, they do make things that they do in their comics seem to be moral, but it's fucking not. I mean, we had this discussion on Facebook about Robin and the Robins and Batman.
Oh, here we go.
How Batman
work the ribs.
Robins at all and training these people, these children who, and we had this discussion about what about Bucky and all that.
Who was taken into World War II.
Yes. Yeah. However, number one, he was assigned. That was established in the conversation. He was assigned.
He wasn't assigned.
Captain America did not say, Bucky, you're coming with me, let's go.
He went to a camp where there was a bunch of kids, and the overzealous one was fucking Bucky, and Bucky was like, man, Cap, you're awesome, I wish I could go with you. Cap was like, well, you want to go kill some Nazis? And I just assume that Captain America is actually, what's his face from fucking Inglourious Basterds, just Brad Pitt from Inglourious
Brad
Basterds.
Pitt.
You want to go kill us some Nazis? That's what I believe.
Nazis.
That's what I believe the accurate Captain
The
America
point is, though, is that
version.
in later comics,
He did get older.
yes, Bucky has been aged up considerably. Whereas, interestingly enough, the Batman characters of like Robins, all the different Robins, have curiously been aging down. I mean, we've got
the newest Robin was-
Damian,
the newest Robin was
and,
like
we've got
12 or, like,
Stephanie.
11
I
or
mean, we've
10.
got all of these younger Robins, and it's never really questioned morally. I mean,
Oh, it is?
I would love, but not to the extent that it like should be fucking stopped. I mean,
When Robin first came on the scene, Commissioner Gordon was like, "You can't fucking do this. Like, you can't do this." And the reason behind it is, Batman. Let's start with Robin for a second. Batman is, say you're my kid. You're my kid, and your mom got killed by A, B, and C, and you decide that you want to go out there and inflict justice on Tampa Bay, and you are only 15 years old, or 13 years old, or 12 years old, however old you are. You decide you're going to go out there, and you're some little stupid kid with a gun out there trying to like go and fight, all these things like that. And I can do everything but have you like eat Baker Act or whatever like that. And you can escape because you're a gymnast. You're an awesome gymnast or whatever reason.
I
What-
would
so
lock my child in a fucking basement and put them under some kind of a beautiful teaching program until the point that they finally got to it. Put them in front of grief counselors. I don't give a crap what you do. It is not okay to train a child to go out and kill people, because that's not a Batman thing to do, but to inflict justice, vigilante justice. I'm sorry, but there is absolutely no argument that you can say that tells me that that is a morally acceptable thing to do. I would love to have an actually licensed psychiatrist come on and like analyze Bruce's justification
and if
for
you're
that.
going to tell me Captain America, because the argument was who's more moral, Captain America or Batman? That was the real discussion.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me Captain America, who literally bombed like an entire village, and there is comic books where he bombed an entire village, and his argument to why he did that to a soldier, well, it's not America, is it? And innocent women and children. Batman would never do that. There is no universe. Batman has stopped the Justice League from taking those leaps. Batman has talked people down from taking those leaps.
But we already established as well that the only reason why Batman even beat Captain America in a fair fight was because he didn't fight fair. Because Cap is always going to default to his morals.
Captain America doesn't know how to fight that way.
He knows how to fight that way.
Time out.
He doesn't.
Let me finish the thought.
Because he won't compromise his morals.
Let me finish the thought. Outside here, Captain America fights like a straight up fighter. He fights like a straight up fighter. That's the way he is. That's the way he thinks. That's the way his mind works. He doesn't think about, the femoral artery here or this here or, things like that there. He thinks about like, he's a boxer, he's a kickboxer, and that's basically his style in the comic books. He knows a little bit of judo and a little bit of this, but it's a very straight up fighting style. That's just the way he thinks. Batman, you're talking about a guy who has over 150 different styles of martial art or whatever under his belt, and Batman, all he thinks to do is cheat. And I don't think cheating as far as a fight goes is any more moral or less moral.
What? How can you not equate cheating to morality?
Cheating in a fight.
Cheating in a fight is still cheating! How do you not equate cheating to morality?
If Captain America, if Batman is like, I have to go save the world, and Batman cheats and lies his way to it to save every living person, great. Because that's what Batman has done. That's what Batman is. Batman is the kind of person who uses everything to his advantage to save lives. That's who he is.
I'm sorry, but I will always be tired of the argument that Batman wins no matter what, because that's just shitty writing.
It's not so much shitty writing as it makes sense.
That he's the, what were we discussing last time? He's the best magician, and he's the best this and the best
he's not
that.
The best magician. He's better than Zatanna, though.
Yeah, he's better. Okay, so he's better than the guy who is the magician.
Not Zatara,
all right?
Zatanna.
Yeah, Zatanna is still a magician. That's literally what he does. Like, he doesn't have any other specialties. That is what he does.
Why are you saying he and his? Zatanna's a woman.
Well, Zatara is what I'm talking about.
Zatara trained Bruce. There's a comic book which is Zatara trained Bruce. And
so Zatara, Bruce has surpassed the Master.
He didn't surpass the Master. He surpassed his daughter.
I thought we established that Zatanna was the better magician than Zatara.
There is a quote in the Batman animated series where the Zatara literally says, "You're even better than my own daughter. You're better than Zatanna." And because Bruce has that.
So fucking stupid.
Bruce is a sociopath.
Stop it.
He's a sociopath.
But he's not written like that. Like, he's not written to the point where you think this guy's fucking nuts. He's written like, wow,
Are you
yeah,
crazy?
Batman is fucking amazing.
Batman's a
Children everywhere look up to Batman.
But Batman, that's because Batman does the right thing. He does the moral thing. It's a lot like
Except for when he trains, 13-year-old children and lets them go out and fight vigilante justice with him instead of smacking them on the ass and putting them back in the classroom.
If we're gonna talk about that, then you want to lock your kid up, fine. You want to lock your kid up and have them in a basement or whatever like that, learning, which that did happen. That did happen in a comic. Figuratively speaking, that did happen in a comic. Batman was like, we need to, you can't keep going out here and doing this, and he would constantly be having to save Robin, and they just he just realized, like, you're gonna keep doing this no matter what, and you're just gonna get older, or you're either gonna die. You're gonna go older and you're going to be doing this or you're going to die. So he trains Robin. And it goes like that for each and every Robin. Jason Todd was on the street mugging people, stealing, shooting, killing people as 15, and Batman's like, there's a better way, and trains him to be better. Damian Wayne is an assassin. Damian Wayne is a 10-year-old. He is trained from birth to be an assassin. In the first comic, like, what was it? The Talia al Ghul was like, oh, here's your kid. By the way, this kid that you haven't seen in 10 years, here's your child. And he's like, oh man, so tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go upstairs, you're going to get your schoolwork, and I'll send you to school, whatever like that. He goes in, steals fucking Jason Todd's Robin suit that's in the beautiful case, and kills the villain that Batman is after. Just kills the villain. Straight up decapitates him. He's like, look, Dad, I did good. And he's like, oh, Batman's like, oh my God, you can't fucking do that. Which, you can't. What kind of child are you? He's like, you should probably not do
It's like realizing you've taken home like a gremlin.
Yeah, but Bruce Wayne is a sociopath, but so is Tony Stark. He's a narcissistic sociopath. So
okay, but let me level with you here.
Let's
all right.
level.
Hit Girl.
Oh God, that was. I hated that whole arc with Hit Girl and his.
He's like, listen, I'm gonna put you in normal school and we're gonna do this, and he didn't compromise himself for that, and she had to run away to be able to do that. And I think that if Bruce did say like, no, I'm absolutely not accepting you doing this.
Dick would run away, and then he has on his conscience, I didn't train this child. This child is gonna go out there, ran away, is gonna die and get killed. If we are saying that at this point does not have the same training as Hit Girl. Not the same training. A different training than Hit Girl. But I will say Hit Girl is a different situation because, okay, my daughter died and I made a conscious decision. My wife died and I made a conscious decision to train this child to have hate and vengeance. Like, it was child was a baby, so she didn't even know her mom. So you could go like, oh, well, I'm making this choice for me, but I'm not going to let, whatever. He trained his daughter with the mentality of, oh, no, you are going to go out and you're going to do this because this is what would be right and da-da-da-da-da. Batman was all no, what the hell, a kid?
Right,
no.
Batman is not taking the role of Nick Cage's character here, and I'm going by the movies, but he's taking the role of his friend, the one that adopted her, which is the point that I'm saying is that he didn't say, well, you're going to do it anyway, so I might as well. No, he said, fuck no, you're going to school and we have a swear jar. And he was like, no, I'm not compromising with you on this. And so I think that Batman I'm sorry, but there's nothing you can tell me to say that's moral at all. It's not.
You're saying it's not moral. I say it's not moral to let a child go out and do something stupid and get themselves killed. I would rather train my brother and my little brother on how to box. So if a fight ever did come up,
I think they need to learn how to discipline their children. Is what they need to do. Okay, they need to.
Okay, you're disciplining Hit Girl. Hit Girl left. Hit Girl left. I'm gonna discipline the fuck out of you. Left and went to go fight crime in Hong Kong for all we know. Like, yeah, you discipline your children right out the door. Good job. Good job.
But is it better to discipline them out the door and then they make their own decisions,
and
or
possibly
is it better,
get killed, or is it better to accept their life and be there to catch them when they're fault and help them?
But that's not. I mean, he's literally used his Robins as like friggin' bullet shields. Like, their costumes are bright as shit. Like,
the Robin's costume is bright because of he used to be a flying fucking Grayson. It's a mock-up of his old costume.
Not all of them were.
It's a mock-up of his old costume. The newer one, Jason Todd was the second one. Well, you're gonna look like Dick did. You're gonna look just the way Dick Grayson looked in this costume, because this is what we have right now. This is the base level. So you're the second one, and then you get to Tim Drake, and Tim Drake was like, oh man, that's cool. I'm making my own costume, and made his own very tactical Batman and Robin suit. Made his own Robin suit, and then Damian Wayne is all about tacticality. Like 10-year-old Damian Wayne is like hoods and fucking swords, like swing, and like. So you say that there's nothing as least amount of moral, and in the mainstream universe of Marvel, Bucky is like 15 in World War II, killing Nazis. This is now. We're talking about like in the main universe right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was still 15, and in those times it'd be worse then. You're taking a what? In 1930 or 1940, whatever.
Are you kidding me? Every able-bodied kid was drafted.
Kid? It was like, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it like 17? Wasn't that like the cutoff?
And then also, not just that, but Bucky wasn't like drafted into the actual like
No,
infantry. Like younger kids would be pulled to do other stuff, and that's how he ended up getting to Captain America. Was he was doing other stuff, and then he was insistent on going. Like, I'm not
and
saying,
Captain America didn't say, hey, stay here and get your work, kid. Stay here and get your work or whatever like that. No, he said, you know what? And this is the comic. This is from the comic. You know what? I like the cut of your jib. Let's go fight and kill some Nazis. That won't scar you at all emotionally. Let's go. That's how you, come on, man. And I like Batman because, no, it's the good of every person on Earth. I can't really agree with Cap because Cap fights, and we've had this argument. Cap fights for America. All those bases that we had that conversation about around, that's not fair. You know what Captain America's like? No, I don't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that at all. Batman would be like, we're stretching our power. And there have been things like, our power is too much. We can't do this. We have to da-da-da-da-da. So that's why I say it's, you look at, Batman is darker. He is not as sunshine and rainbows as Cap is, but let's he's darker, but he's not necessarily the least moral character because he won't kill. He will always find another way. The only person he has ever killed in all these years of continuity is Darkseid, and that's because he had to. He had to kill Darkseid, or Darkseid was like going to end, existence.
My point is though is that I think that sometimes it's the less moral choice to not kill someone than it is to kill them.
Okay, and I think it is. I don't think killing is necessarily the moral choice. It is in which.
I think that it can be.
I think that is in it's. I gotta be honest, man. I don't
if
support.
You know,
I don't
like
support
let's say,
the. I don't.
Let's say that someone walks into this room right now, and they've got a gun, and they're holding up everybody, and they say, "I will let you live," or let's say, "I will let, everybody else live," or whatever. Who cares? But the point is that let's say if you don't kill me, I'm gonna kill everybody in this room. Would you compromise your moral integrity?
Which hand does he hold the gun
5 minutes.
in? Which hand does he hold the gun in?
Really?
Yeah. No shit. I can show you my shooter roll card. I go once a week. I can literally hit from here the dead center of that camera. And because I train that way, because I don't want to kill people. I know I don't want to kill people. So if a gun is around, I'm gonna shoot. We have 5 minutes, right?
Oh, we're doing verses? Okay.
We'll get to verses in. Really? Why? Why you gotta be that guy? Why you gotta be those guys? I will say I train myself in a certain way so that way I don't have to kill people. Like Batman trains, he even says I train so I don't have to kill people. I train to be that good.
I'm telling you, if you had no other choice, there is not a Deus Ex Machina.
There is
not. You cannot get out of this one. And this one, I'm talking about the Deus Ex Machina bullshit. This is bullshit, okay?
There's always a better
You have
choice.
a gun, and they have a gun. And they say, you can shoot me, or I am going to kill everyone in this room, and then I'm going to walk outside, and I'm going to go bomb Ybor.
I'm going to shoot him. I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to shoot him.
That's bullshit. I would fucking kill him.
I wouldn't kill him.
Because you don't know if maybe you shoot him in the leg, and then he
shoot for leg.
drops.
I shoot for gun shoulder. Boom. Oh, he drops the gun.
Shoulder. All right.
And if
let's say he's Ambi and he picks up the gun, there's always a chance that he's gonna get back up and he's gonna hobble out of here and he's gonna go do what he said he was gonna fucking do.
There's a chance, but I have shot him. He is far less able to get away now.
No.
Like I'm sorry. Like.
Ladies, listen to me.
Hi.
Someone comes after you. Someone's putting anyone in danger, don't go with this DC bullshit. No, Deus Ex Machina, it doesn't work like that, okay? You shoot to kill. You go for the jugular. I'm not even kidding. Don't give them a chance. If they have threatened your life, you officially have the right to take theirs.
Yeah, stand your ground law. It's a great law. We can't wait to.
No, stand your ground.
We can't wait. No, we can't wait for it to keep going.
Stand your ground is the most terrible, terrible thing that has occurred in our court system, but when used properly, it is the law of the land. Because there's anywhere that you go, anywhere, not just Florida, that is like common self-defense. If someone has a gun on you and you kill them.
Oh no, that's different. If someone has a gun on you, yeah, that's completely different and justifiable. But Personally, for me, I'm the kind of person who I train myself so I don't have to kill.
And that's because DC has taught you that there is always a way out. And the fact of the matter is that life does not work that way. And there is not always a way out.
My family taught me there's always a way out. There was a guy with a gun who broke into my grandmother's house, and my uncle was staying over, and he had a gun. He had a Glock or whatever like that. And my uncle took him down without needing a gun. You don't need guns to protect you. That's a myth. Like, guns are just, it's like wielding the hand of God. Who wants that much power?
People that are not physically capable of fighting back like that.
Yeah.
You know, like a woman, say, who's, not
now you're gonna
athletically trained.
Now you're going to say I support rape.
Who perhaps, might need to face off a larger attacker like, I don't know, an average-sized guy.
I will not kill someone. However, if there's a gun between, I will try not to use a gun, but if there's a gun between me and saving someone's life, I am going to shoot, not to kill. And if I do shoot you and you do start bleeding out, I will probably try and save your life.
I'm going to shoot your ass to kill, so
because I don't want to have a human life on my hands. Unlike some people who were born in the South.
Hey now.
Anyway, all right.
It's called self-preservation.
Right on. So let's get into our versus corner. We're gonna do some Marvel versus DC characters. So number one, top one on the list, Superman versus Miss Marvel.
I already know what he was gonna say.
I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
Actually, you know what? Looking at this list, I would say he's probably gonna go DC on every single one of these, except maybe the last one.
Really? I'd probably go DC on that last one too.
I hate you.
It's not even. If it came, this one is that's the wrong one. This one is probably the hardest one to call. I have no idea who would win that one.
It's already been proven. Okay, first of all, let's just go with the first one.
First one, Superman versus Miss Marvel. Who is going to win? I'm going to say Superman. Superman is, and I'm going to state my argument. Superman is limitless. He is a Kryptonian who literally is. His powers don't really run out. And
Thank you.
He pushes. I'm sorry. What do you want from me? You guys saw the argument. Did you guys not see the argument? Why Superman is basically unbeatable? They proved it with science. This crazy thing called science.
And it's shitty writing. It's shitty writing, and I'm sorry. Yeah.
Miss Marvel's shitty writing. She's powerful. She's shitty writing.
No, because she has weaknesses. Because obviously she can't beat Superman. So obviously that's something that I'm going to agree with you on that because fucking
Batman can beat Superman.
Superman is the Uberman. Yes, and he's also shitty writing too. It's shitty writing. DC, you're shitty writers. I'm sorry, but no. Any character that you can say is going to beat anybody no matter what, it's shitty writing.
You're shitty writing. You're absolutely right. You should be more like Marvel. And when Spider-Man went in that cave during Avengers vs. X-Men and beat basically two gods by himself, you're absolutely right. You should be more like Marvel. Don't. Shitty writing, DC.
I think the point is
when
that
Captain
seeing
America,
a character like Spider-Man being able to take down gods shows that these gods are weaker. And that's the point, is that even their god characters can be shown to have weaknesses, whereas your god character, aka Superman, is completely unbeatable, and that's why I don't like him.
Superman has his
Yeah, he can be beaten by Batman, who is the only one. What was your quote? This is my favorite quote in the universe, and by that I mean I fucking hate it. After nightfall, Batman always wins. Fuck that. It's shitty writing. It's shitty writing. You have to have weaknesses for your characters.
Yeah, Squirrel
You have
Girl.
to have a deny.
Yeah, Wolverine.
We have only established that. No, but we established that you didn't agree with
Magneto.
that you thought Batman would always beat them.
Magneto always fucking. I can name like 5 fucking characters from Marvel right now who always win. Who are mainstream Marvel characters? Your argument is so retarded.
But that's okay because if
Marvel?
you face them off against Batman, Batman's always gonna win.
Oh no, that's true. That's a fact.
See?
That's a fact.
Do you see what I mean?
However, that's not all DC characters. We're talking about 2 characters. We're talking about Batman and Superman.
The 2 headliners, the only ones that matter, because no one apparently gives a shit about any other characters in DC, because I don't see anyone else get any movies.
People, Green Lantern just got a goddamn movie.
Okay.
Wonder Woman,
When's that gonna happen again?
Aquaman just got signed for a movie. Wonder Woman is signed for a movie. Gal Gadot signed for 3 movies, one of which is her own. Like, oh.
Yeah.
If we're talking
how many years? How many years has that been? How many years?
Wonder Woman has needed a movie for years. She's needed a movie for years. The TV show pilot wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad.
How many years ago did Spider-Man come out? He's not a mainstream character. At least he wasn't at that time. Not to the point that Batman and Superman are.
Spider-Man is the 3rd most well-known character in the world.
Yeah, but not to the level of Batman and Superman. Batman and Superman have always been
number 2. Superman number 1. Batman number 2.
The top.
Here's what I'm saying. Superman is my favorite character, but is my favorite character not because of his powers. It is because of his morals and the way that he can inspire people to hope. I don't give
And the fact that he never has to compromise them because of the Deus Ex Machina of DC writing.
Thank you so much, Patron. Thank you so much. And Marvel writing is absolutely awesome, where they argue for 5 fucking panels and then maybe life gets saved. Like in Young Avengers. And here's the great thing. You want to talk about Young Avengers? Read Children's War. Read any Young Avengers comic book, because they're constantly calling the Avengers on their bullshit. There's children in the Children's Crusade. They straight up say at the end of the comic book, after the Avengers have basically been arguing with the X-Men for fucking 5 panels near the end of the comic book, they straight up say, like, the Young Avengers, like, who are the heroes and who are the villains anymore?
Oh,
like,
you mean because it's realistic? Because when you put a bunch of superhuman people in a room together, they're not always going to get along, which I thought was beautifully played in Avengers.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So
when
anyway,
it comes to
saving,
saving human lives, you should never get along and argue. I thought that was the dumbest thing ever in Avengers. We are going to argue, and maybe we shall save some lives.
We're never going to agree on this. That's fine. What's the next one?
Well, let's talk about.
No, I'm already going to agree with you that Superman's going to win because it's fucking stupid. It's shitty writing, and I agree with you.
Okay.
All right, second one.
Oh, it's shitty writing. Fuck that. Fuck you and
Shitty
fuck
writing.
that. Whatever. Then I'm gonna call shitty writing on every single one of Marvel fucking characters that are overpowered and overdo things.
Overpowered that apparently can always be beat by a DC character.
You mean fucking Magneto, who they basically have to plastic is his weakness, and every
But they still managed to lock him up just fine, interesting, and they keep him in his prison for a lot of the time, unlike Arkham.
Oh, you mean or like in fucking the DC universe where they have fucking Superboy Prime, who they leave locked up for years. Who, like whatever. I think if we went back and forth and you calling these characters out and all this stuff, and I'm just calling out Marvel characters on all the same things. So who's the shitty writer, Marvel or DC?
But the problem is that it always comes back to DC wins. Always comes back to DC wins, which to me is shitty writing.
I don't think it's...
Can we go to the second one,
fine.
please?
Wonder Woman versus Thor.
Thor does not win. Because
Really?
it's already been established that Thor, although his hammer, it cannot be used by everybody, Wonder Woman is worthy. This was established.
Oh yeah, she can pick up the
Justice
hammer.
League versus Avengers. She can pick up the hammer, and she actually said, this is too powerful, and tossed it aside. Wonder Woman wins.
Really? I feel like it'd be a very evenly matched
Oh, it would
fight.
be an even match, but she'd still win because she's DC.
Really? Samantha Patrone, you're not even gonna make an argument?
No, I'm really not, because these arguments go the same fucking way every single time. I will argue on the last one, though. I will argue on the last one.
Okay. Nightwing versus Black Widow.
Black Widow hands his fucking ass to him.
How?
Because
Why?
Nightwing was trained by Batman, okay, and his moral fucking code. Black Widow ain't got no moral code. She's gonna rip his fucking spine out from his ass.
Black Widow doesn't have superpowers.
No, she doesn't.
She can't do that. She
Okay.
can't do that.
She's been trained to do that in the Red Room. She could do that.
That's physically impossible.
Okay.
All right, let's.
Excuse me, she'll do it through his throat like a
All right.
tiger.
Let me tell you why this is Nightwing versus Black Widow. Let me tell you why Nightwing, my boy Nightwing's gonna win. Let me tell you why
Always
he's gonna win.
DC.
No, not always DC. I thought Thor would win this fight. I gotta be
Really?
honest.
You thought Thor would win that fight?
I don't remember that crossover because I gotta be honest, I don't pay that much attention to Wonder Woman except for when people come in and argue about it.
But he wants her to have her own movie, folks.
I do want her to have her own movie, but she is not a character. She's not one of my. What do you want me to tell you? I don't like her. I can't relate to her. Like what do you want to tell me? Not that I don't like her. I think she's a great DC character. I don't go out and say I'm gonna read a Wonder Woman comic book today. Like no, I don't. Sorry. I think there are people who do. I'm not that guy. Like I don't read I barely read Nightwing comic books.
Tell me why Nightwing wins.
Oh,
I want
sorry.
to hear this.
Because Nightwing has punked out some of the most powerful and overly
Overly. Notice he uses the word overly powerful.
Oh yeah, no, I'll say it. Oh no,
because DC equals OP. That's my new slogan. I want that on a T-shirt.
No, I think DC equals OP. You're right. And your point?
And it's fucking shitty writing.
Whatever. OP. I love OP. I wake up in the day, I'm like, OP for me. That's what I want. I want my characters. If I want to read about normal shit, I'd pick up a newspaper.
Okay.
Let me tell you, Nightwing has taken down, he's gone up against Slade Wilson, who is the DC equivalent of if Captain America knew all the martial arts that Batman knew, and like all the fucking had
I know
gadgets
who Slade Wilson is.
and all this. Okay, great. Taking down Slade Wilson, who is 10 times more of a fight than Black Widow would be up against Nightwing, and Nightwing doesn't
But
need
Slade
gun.
is more about like force, and although he has
and killing
some
and murder.
Yes, and although he has some, acrobatic skills in that he's not exactly a, hulking brute, No, Widow would wipe
Why?
the
Because
floor with Nightwing.
Wait, Nightwing is acrobatic. Nightwing
That's what
wrote
I'm
the
saying.
book on acrobats.
That's what I'm saying,
Acrobatic.
though, is that he had an advantage there. He does not have that advantage over Natasha.
What? Natasha has the stingers and she has a gun. What else does she have?
Natasha was literally trained from the time she was a little baby, as you said, with Damian Wayne. And that's the question I would pose to you. If Damian Wayne went up against Nightwing.
It already happened. Nightwing won.
Nightwing may have won that one, but we're talking about an older woman now because we're not talking about a kid. We're talking about someone who's been training for many years.
Cheshire, who in the comic books was trained for many years up until the point of adult. Nightwing took her down. Lady Shiva, who is in the DC comic books right next to Richard Dragon as people who wrote the book on martial arts. Nightwing has taken them down. Because Nightwing...
Oh, but wait. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I know why Nightwing always wins. Because he took up the Batman mantle. So
no, he doesn't. Nightwing doesn't always win.
That must mean that he has to, by extension, have the Batman always wins,
if you're
right?
not even going to argue,
so how
if you're
silly
not even
of
gonna
me
if you're not even going to have the conversation,
to even think that Black Widow would even stand a chance against Nightwing.
If you're not even going to have the conversation, what's the point of talking about it?
You heard it here first.
What's the point of talking about it?
DC always wins.
What's the point of talking about it?
Because they are shitty writers.
It's not. Well, is Marvel shitty? I just brought up shit about Marvel. Is Marvel shitty writers? Are they shitty writers?
No, they're not.
Then what's the difference?
Because they write their characters more believable, and they write their characters to have weaknesses. I'm sorry, but just on posterity alone, I'm wearing her colors today. Black Widow would wipe the floor.
Let me tell you, Nightwing would win because Nightwing is more. He's more
because he gets the Batman extension.
No, he's more flexible. He's a hands down better fighter. He's a hands down better fighter.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
Black Widow has absolutely no moral code when it comes to fighting an enemy.
Nightwing,
okay?
Oh no, you're right. But Nightwing doesn't need to kill.
She'd pick her ass up a sniper rifle and shoot him from fucking 2 miles away.
Are we whoa. Are we talking about a sniper off, or are we talking about a fight? Are we talking about in a room like this, much like this, or on a rooftop, much like this, and them going boom, boom, boom at it, hand to hand with her weapons and his weapons, his smoke bombs, his grenades, all his stuff.
I'm sorry, but I still say the Black Widow wins.
Just because you want to say Black Widow wins.
Because I think that DC needs to fucking tone it down a notch.
So it's not even what would actually happen. It's I'm going to say this because I want to push my agenda? Is that what it is?
No,
like a lot of things that you say?
Not just that, but it's seriously, Black Widow as a character is more adaptable. And the way that she has been trained, I feel, would lend itself to a very... I think it would be a fair fight, but I think that she would win because I think that she has the ability to close herself off. I mean, she's been through a lot of pain. I mean, she was tortured.
Okay.
Like, she could put up with anything that Nightwing could throw at her and be like, yeah, all right, please, sir, could I have some more? Like, I feel that
Nightwing probably wouldn't torture her. He'd probably just knock her out and be like, man, that was a crazy broad, and be out. Flip, flip, flip.
No, that's ridiculous. Absolutely not.
Like he does in
We have to wrap it up.
He does in a lot. Let's wrap up this episode of Panel to Panel. Thanks so much to our guest that we can't wait to have on next week.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Samantha
I'm threatening
Patrone.
him. There's a gun
Samantha
somewhere.
Patrone. So we can not talk about comic books and then talk about feminism for an hour.
Hey, we were talking about feminism in comic books. Thank you very much.
Granted. And it is all very important things we need to talk about. Feminism, race, body images, stuff like that, the things that definitely need to be discussed. The reason we have these conversations is so you at home can think about it more, think about the choices that you make, think about the things that you're reading, think about the society around you, and think maybe, all these different things. Maybe when you're online, you want to comment on Gail Gaidot's boobs. Maybe you're doing the wrong thing. Maybe, just think about that kind of stuff.
And write letters to the publications that you enjoy. Maybe if you have a specific comic book that you like and you want to see a little bit more representation into it, they're not going to do it unless if you make them. So.
Well, unless you're DC, when they don't listen to the fans at all and they just fire all their female writers. Yeah, that's a.
See, now you're hating on DC.
Don't do that. Well, no, I hate modern.
It can be done.
I hate modern, current day DC. I hate modern DC. I will defend to my last testicle DC before New 52. That DC pre New 52, that's all I talk about. If we're talking about 52, I have nothing to say for you because 52 has had 52 different publications. They not publication, but 52 different comic books canceled because no one's reading them anymore because New 52 sucks and blows, and they've decided that they no longer care about making their characters moral or making their characters better or stick to the things that DC did good. Now they want to make everything edgy and cool because that's what's working for Marvel, but that's not who DC is. DC, there was a time that you sold more than Marvel, and it wasn't so long ago. We can get back to that. So,
Good luck.
well, you fucked yourselves, DC. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So, all right, you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for watching Pound the Panel, and we're gonna work on another episode coming up here for you soon. Peace, love, and soul.